Hey there, future economists. Today, I'm unpacking one of the most crucial concepts in economics, GDP or gross domestic product. Think of GDP as the economy's scorecard, showing us the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in 1 year. So why do we calculate GDP? Simply put, it helps us measure economic activity by assigning market prices to goods and services. This way, we get a comprehensive picture of the economy's health. All right, let's dive into the components of GDP. GDP is divided into 4 major expenditure categories. First up, consumption, C. This is household spending on goods and services. Then we have investment, I, which includes spending on additional production like machinery and buildings. Next is government spending, G. These are purchases of goods and services by the government, but keep in mind, it excludes transfer payments like Social Security. Lastly, there's net exports, XM, which is total exports minus total imports. Put it all together, and the GDP formula looks like this. GDP equals sign C plus I plus G plus XM. Now remember, GDP is a flow concept. It measures annual production, not the amount at a specific time, and it focuses on final output to avoid double counting. Another way to look at GDP is through the value-added approach. Here we consider the increase in value a firm adds to a product at each production stage. Take ice cream, for example. From milk to cream to the final product, value is added at each step. We also need to distinguish between gross and net concepts. Net domestic product, NDP, is GDP adjusted for depreciation, basically the capital used up in production. The formula for NDP is NDP equals sign C plus I plus G plus XM, depreciation. Now, let's compare national and domestic concepts. GDP measures output within a country's borders, whereas gross national product, GNP, measures output produced by a country's citizens, including net foreign factor income. So GNP equals sign GDP plus net foreign factor income. Aggregate income is another crucial term. It's the total income earned by citizens and businesses in a year. It includes employee compensation, rent, interest, and profits. Fun fact, aggregate income always equals aggregate production. When comparing GDP over time, we distinguish between real and nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is measured at current prices, whereas real GDP is adjusted for inflation. To convert nominal GDP to real GDP, we use the GDP deflator, a price index. Other price indexes include the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which measures prices of a fixed basket of goods, and the Producer Price Index, PPI, which measures prices received by domestic producers. There's also the Personal Consumption Expenditure, PCE, deflator, reflecting changes in consumer purchasing habits. Understanding real versus nominal distinctions is vital. Nominal interest rates are the stated rates, while real interest rates are adjusted for inflation. Similarly, real wealth is the value of assets based on productive capacity, and nominal wealth is their value at current market prices. However, GDP isn't perfect. Per capita GDP can be misleading for comparing living standards due to differences in non-market activities and prices. Purchasing power parity, PPP, adjusts for price differences across countries. GDP also doesn't measure happiness, welfare, or environmental impact. That's where the Genuine Progress Indicator, GPI, comes in, adjusting GDP to include social goals like pollution reduction and health. So there you have it, a comprehensive framework for understanding how economic activity is measured, the components of GDP, and the distinctions between real and nominal values. Keep in mind the limitations of GDP and explore alternative measures like the GPI for a fuller picture of economic welfare. Catch you next time.